I love pot.
Except for when you're around your wife, right? You have to sneak off.
She's not a fan whatsoever. We finally broke that boundary. I'm like, hey man, I'm not hiding this anymore. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to sit on my back deck at the end of the night. The house that I bought, that we put into, that I'm out there making all the money, and I want to sit on my back deck and catch a buzz and stare at stars and think about aliens in the universe. Yes. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
Are we hooking up tonight? No. Then don't worry about what I'm doing.
Welcome to the Myself Wellness Podcast. I'm Charles Patty, the voice of Myself Wellness, along with my co-hosts Christina Thomas and Jamie Venziel. 9 years ago, I began my journey to self-awareness and healing. Like many who have faced personal struggles, I felt lost and struggled to find lasting healing. It wasn't until I discovered alternative healing methods that I began to see a real change in my life. This show will help you unlock your true potential through healthy lifestyle practices and transformations. Join us as we explore personal stories, expert advice, and practical tips to help you step into your true potential and level up. Welcome to the Myself Wellness Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Myself Wellness Podcast. Today, we are going to be journeying with Jim Breuer. What a pleasure and an honor it is to have him on the show today. You'll know Jim from Saturday Night Live, Goat Boy, host of the Bruniverse, Half Baked, and many other things, stand-up comedian extraordinaire. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Jim.
What's up, Charles?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, hey, what's going on with you, man?
There's plenty going on here.
So, I met Jim at met Jim at Seed the Table, and I kind of just like bumped into you there one day.
Is that where that started?
That's where it started.
It
That's
is
where
where-
it all
You know what?
happened.
You're right.
All the good things started at Seed Table.
You're right. We were leaving Seed the Table, paying for something, and you're like, hey man, I work with the military and
Yeah.
PTSD and da-da-da and the psychedelic treatment.
Yeah.
And that's where
It all began.
it all began. I can't remember if I reached out to you or saw you again after that.
So
because
then after that, I saw you at the Red Gala.
that's where it was.
And
yes.
then so we were talking there, and then you had me on your show.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Universe, amazing show. Everybody check it out.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
And so like, it's pretty awesome how like, it's very awesome because I've actually respected your work for a very long time. And I think that you're an amazing person.
Boy,
So
thank you.
no, seriously,
He even
man.
brought you some Funyuns.
What's that?
He brought you some Funyuns, man.
Oh, all right. All right.
No, but so listen, man, I'd like to like get into, was this path always a vision of yours, or was it something that just kind of evolved? Like, how did everything get started for you, man?
Yeah, started in comedy.
When I was, well, I always wanted to go into comedy. I started writing little sketches in 6th grade. And then I also wanted to act, be in movies. I also wanted to be a lead singer of a heavy metal band. Yeah. So it was, no matter what, I was heading to a stage somehow. And then when it really kicked in was my senior year in high school. I did that was the moment in time. It was our school had a competition, seniors, juniors, sophomore, and everyone had to do a play. Everyone had to do sports, whatever the competitions were. When they were writing the play, it all had to be biblical, even though we weren't a religious school, something biblical. So one of my best friends, still goes on the Bruniverse with me, and we do a thing called the Bunker, all the conspiracies. My friend comes out to you, he's like, Jim, you gotta do, because all I did was act like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was huge when I was growing up. So I would talk, hey, it's Eddie Murphy. So I would walk up and down the hallway, hey, man, I'm Gumby, damn it. And that's always imitate Eddie Murphy. I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. And so he said, you got to do Eddie Murphy as Noah. and the biblical part is Noah. And not knowing also later in time, Cosby, I don't know what happened to Cosby, wrote a kind of a genius bit too, where it's God talking to Noah. But I did as Eddie Murphy, and it crushed so hard that the next day on my life, every girl that I had a crush on was walking down the hallway going, "We gotta hang out. You're such a pisser. Oh my God, I told my family, come back and watch you again tonight." And every guy that I wanted to be in with, whether it was the jocks or where they were like, "Dude, we're hanging out. I never laughed so hard." So overnight, I was a superstar in my high school.
That's awesome.
But this was my senior year, and and the confidence it gave me walking down the hall, and then the next night they were chanting my name before I even came out. I came out. To this day, I'm not sure I've had an experience like that since then, but that was the big nudge of you're heading in the right direction.
That's awesome.
And there was also a deeper spiritual thing that I got thrown off of. And the deeper spiritual thing was seeing someone, a young woman who was crying on her porch, and I knew her from the neighborhood, and I was like, "What's the matter?" And she was telling me like, "Oh, I haven't seen this guy for 5 years, and he just left me." But whatever the scenario. I wanted to see her laugh and lose the pain. And I was relentless until I finally broke her. And when I broke her, I'll never forget, she looked at me like she was freaked out by me. She's like, "You don't understand. This is the most painful day of my life." And, we all think that's really stupid now, just like someone breaks up with you, who cares? But she's like, "I can't believe you just made me laugh, and you made me think. Like, I'm not even thinking him now." But it just resonated so with me that's such a powerful thing, that you could take someone's pain and put humor there, and it's the beginning of a healing thing for them to move on. And that really resonated. And then I took that as a powerful gift. Oh, this is God's gift. Oh, and I'm not a religious guy.
So you're like an alchemist that transmutes pain and suffering into positive things through comedy.
That's what I try to do. Yes. That's what I
think you're
love to do.
That's amazing, man.
I love to do that. I mean, it was another moment where I was close friends with a girl in Florida. We were neighbors. I didn't realize how much she really was interested in being with me. Probably the only female that loved me that I didn't have an opportunity to be with until it was too late. And she died suddenly. And I remember being at the funeral. That's the first time I really dealt with death and so close. And I'll never forget being at the funeral. There was a lot of young people, and going in there, it's the first time I really looked at a deceased body, and it was just such a dreary, dark, weird energy. And I went outside and I brought some friends out there, and I said, "This is not the way it's supposed to be. Like right now, I imagine Kristen's doing this and this and this." And I started imitating her, and I started talking about the fun things that she may be doing right now if she's in heaven or wherever she's at, and then making fun of it. And all my life, I remember when I stopped, there was a circle of people, and they were all laughing so hard. And I went, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be doing." And they're like, no, keep going. Even her father came out, and that was a big moment of such a dark time to bring it to light. Bring it. Why do we have to sit in this cesspool of what's going on right now?
That's beautiful, man.
And then the industry came. That's another whole story.
Is that a whole nother cesspool of darkness?
That's another whole cesspool.
Doing movies, doing stand-up, like what really gets Jim Breuer going, man? Like what do you prefer? Because you have to love this. You love what you do.
No, I love everything about it.
Yeah. How do you stay passionate?
I love it.
Does it ever
But
get
now
tiring for you?
Well, yeah,
I mean, you've been going for.
Yeah, I'm in a stage now where it's the first time in my life where I don't have a desire to do stand-up.
Okay.
And that's never happened to me. But I do have a desire to write movies again, to write television series, but I don't feel the need to be in them. If I'm in it, great. If it makes sense, great. I'd rather start developing for other people and stuff like that. Like right now, I'm in the middle of writing a movie. I was in the car before we came here, talking with the director, and I haven't done this in 25 years. And I kept telling him, like, this is so much fun. I haven't had so much fun doing this for 25, 30 years. The industry made it annoying. This is really enjoyable. So I love doing stand-up probably the best because it's such a quick reaction. I know it works. I know it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I can live with that because I'm the one that put it out there. I can live with my own mistakes. I have no problem with that. TV and film's a little harder because people judge what the character is, so that's what they're attracted to. It's not you. They're attracted to the guy you did in Half Baked or the guy you did on set or the guy that whatever it is. So that's not it's fun, but it's not as enjoyable as stand up.
So there's like Heath Ledger. He got so into the Joker, right, that they say that he unalived himself. Have you ever had a time where you got so into a character it was hard for you to come back to who you were?
Yeah.
Or are?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a period of stand up where it was right after Half Baked, and everywhere was going. It was sold out. People throwing joints on stage. And it was like the modern day Cheech and Chong. No one's seen this. I still say Half Baked was kind of that was the beginning of many new pot movies that came along, and the whole pot culture came after that. It started a little slow, but Half Baked was, before Half Baked, it was Cheech and Chong. And Half Baked just opened up this whole other door. So
you even got an ice cream named after it.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So that, but I found myself after a while trying to appeal and to appease an entire crowd and generation that I wasn't. Did I smoke pot? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love pot. I love pot.
Except for when you're around your wife, right? You have to sneak off.
She's not a fan whatsoever. And we finally broke that boundary. I'm like, hey, man, I'm not hiding this anymore. I don't have to tell you. I don't want to sit on my back deck at the end of the night, the house that I bought, that we put into, that I'm out there making all the money. And I want to sit on my back deck and catch a buzz and stare at stars and think about aliens in the universe. Yes. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Are we hooking up tonight? No. Then don't worry about what I'm doing. Because there's no other reason for us. If we're not going to be having deep conversation, then I'd rather be out in the back catching a buzz and thinking about the existence of life.
Yeah.
But I found myself after Half Baked constantly on tour and trying to appease a crowd. I'm like purposely writing stoner stuff and after a while, which is probably one of my flaws. Other people will tell you it's my flaws. I never stick with anything. I fall in love with something and I stay with it. And when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. There was a period where my wife was going through cancer treatment, or her second go around of cancer. And I'm a diehard, at that time, big baseball fan. So I was a diehard Mets fan.
I'm a coach for the
I
Mets.
was just going to say, I knew this about you, and I wanted to know that you've got one of the coaches of the Mets sitting here right now. Because our son, his T-ball
Little League
team,
Mets.
is the Mets. And so here you go.
So I'm a crazy Mets fan. And 2015, she's on the couch recovering from chemo, and I'm watching the opening day, and it's Bartola Colon, 350-pound, 50-year-old guy, whatever he was, against Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer is the best pitcher in baseball. And the team that bought him was the Mets rival, the Nationals. And it was opening day, and I'm watching it like it's Game 7 of the World Series, which I watch all of them. And I'm yelling at the TV. I'm doing what a normal fan does. And I will never forget, she, with hardly any energy, started cracking up, and she's going like this. And I went, why? And she goes, this is the videos you should be making. She's like, don't try to act. Don't try to be funny. Be the regular fan and post that. And I went, wow, that's really interesting. And nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that, at least that I know of. And game 1, I posted a video. I didn't think anything of it. The next day, that night, the Mets posted it. The next day, the New York media mentioned it, which I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. She goes, you have to do every game. I went, do you know there's 162 ball games? Like, I'm going on tour. That means I gotta like, it's impossible. Yeah. I said, I'll do like the Mets and the Yankees and all the big. She went, no, you gotta do every game. I went, hun, you don't. She's like, I'm telling you, it's so entertaining, but you gotta be yourself. You talk about lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
The first 5 games, I remember like yesterday, the Mets were 2-3. They lost 3 in a row. They were back to the man. I was like, this team sucks. Dang it. The same old baseball team. They always talk about. And then they won 11 in a row. And by the 11, they swept like 3 straight series. And I remember saying, the catchphrase was, well, everyone, get pack up and head to Chicago because it's the cleanest city in the world because it just got swept. And everyone, ESPN's now talking about it. MLB is talking about it. And now I got to do every game. And people are waiting. And it's so annoying because you weren't getting paid to do videos back then.
Yeah, right. I was just going to ask you.
They're not monetized, nothing. Right? Because by the end of the season, I'm getting 2-point-something million views a night. And people are like, when's the damn video posted? Because I also lived in Chester, New Jersey, which is in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and my internet sucks. So if a video is more than a minute long, it would take forever to post. And people are like, where's the Breuer video? But the point of that whole, and of course, they made the World Series that year. It brought our family together. It was an exciting thing to do. Mm-hmm. It helped promote me going out on tour. I started going on tour and everyone's wearing Mets shirts.
That's awesome.
And I started meeting people in other cities going, hey, I don't know if anyone's here, but I'm going to watch the game at Buffalo Wings in Denver, Colorado. And it'd be 30 Met fans there. And I was like, oh my God, this is wild.
It's that level of authenticity, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But then the second year, I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep this. And I went to MLB and I tried to pitch them as a thing. Now everyone makes videos, which I think is exciting. But the point of the story is I did it. I love that. Like when I was a kid, I'd said, I just want to work with Pesci and De Niro one day. Because growing up, not the De Niro of today.
No.
But back then, Pesci and De Niro and like Nicholson were your gods. And then I eventually worked with them. And I said, I want to be in a big TV show and make my mark. I did it. I want to be in a movie one day and be in a cool movie. I did it. I want to hang out with all my baseball guys. I did it. I want to be able to sing. I did. I'm like the Forrest Gump of entertainment. I love AC/DC. I got to sing with the lead singer of AC/DC. I got up on stage one night and I'm singing with Billy Joel. I toured Metallica, my favorite band in history. I get to sing with my favorite singer, Judas Priest. Lead singer. It's like everything I said I was going to do, I did it. But I don't like, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I don't know whatever my passion is. And right now it's going back into writing movies, writing TV. And I never stick to it. It's like, once I get it done, it's all right. I did it.
See, I respect that though, because it's like the evolution. It's like you're forever evolving and tapping into different things. And it's like, that's a true creative. That's not somebody that's just running a gimmick continuously, or not a gimmick, but like something that they've done. And they're like, okay, I'm just sticking with this forever. And it becomes their identity.
Right.
You know?
So I'm constantly trying to make sure I'm not labeled as anything.
Yeah. It's amazing how polarized our society has become.
We were having this.
It's a labeled society.
Oprah just came out supporting psychedelics. Whether you like Oprah or not, it's huge for the movement. And she can get into the ears of a lot of people who may be closed-minded about psychedelics.
And so I posted it on my Facebook and social medias yesterday, and we literally had people calling our clinic saying that, you know, she's a baby eater and she's a Satanist and like all kinds of. It's like,
I mean, all these things, whether they're true or untrue.
And the thing is, it's like,
if it helps save somebody's life who was closed-minded to psychedelic therapy, it might do that.
And so it's just like, listen, like I think that there's certain things that fall in line with me where like it's bigger than what people like. It's bigger than politics. It's bigger than all of these things. And like, I heard you talking on a podcast recently, and basically you were like, listen, like, I just want people to get along. Like that's really, like, we're all in this together. And see, like, that's where I stand too. Like, I might lean to be a little bit more conservative with some of my beliefs or whatever.
I call it common sense.
There you go. But the fact,
but are those conspiracies really conspiracies anymore?
RFK coming in.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too, man.
To me, that made me feel better about the regime coming in. When I knew he was attached, it gave me a little sigh of relief.
Yeah.
I don't mind any of the regime, to be dead honest with you. But he definitely made me feel so much at ease, because this guy, he puts it all out there. He doesn't hide anything.
Yeah.
And he talks about his experience. And he talks about his son took psychedelics.
I know. That ayahuasca story is incredible.
He came on my podcast and talked about that. And he talked about his childhood. And what, again, the dehumanization was something I brought up to him. Was people say, oh, well, you did drugs. Or you were drug. And I go, well, let's look at that. I know when my brother died suddenly and he left 3 boys, 16, 14, and 11, the emotional damage and devastation that caused. The youngest one was an alcoholic and drug addict for almost 10 years, ran away. He ran away and lived as a surfer for 10, 15 years. My middle one, he struggled with drugs half his life. The oldest one came more like my brother. But this is the part of the world that people don't see anymore. So I saw RFK Jr. as like, of course he was on fucking drugs. Excuse me, if your uncle was constantly displayed as someone who got assassinated as one of the biggest figures in American history, and then your father is blown, his head's blown off when you're 8 years old, you're going to have some fucking issues.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And if you're not human enough to wrap your head around that, I take him more as a hero.
Yeah.
Because to go through that turmoil And to have all those eyes on you as a child growing up, and you can't bubble yourself from that kind of history.
No.
And to be able to get through all that and become the man he is today, he's got my 100% backing as a human being and someone I would trust over some douche monkey that's calls himself a certain politician and an expert.
Listen, like, I look at, because like, listen, like I have a similar story. Okay. My dad died when I was a kid. I self-medicated with drugs and alcohol. And the truth is like, I actually have a lot of respect, not from like talking about myself, but for people like him that have actually been through a traumatic experience, self-medicated and went through down some super dark paths.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they pull themselves out of it and they completely turn their life around. And it's like, now like, he can reach people that a lot of people wouldn't pay attention to. Like me, like I want to go into prisons and jails and I'll be able to reach these kind of guys and help them get their lives on tracks because I walked in their shoes. They're going to take me seriously because I'm not just another person that has some, papers behind my name that says I understand you because I studied psychology or whatever. It's like, no, listen, man, I was there dope sick on the ground crying, wishing I wasn't alive anymore. But psychedelics actually completely changed that for me, ended up getting sober. And, listen, I want people to get sober no matter what way works for them. But a lot of stuff doesn't work for people. And I found something that worked for me so well that like, hey, if you're struggling and you think you need some help, maybe this will work for you too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that, I think people are losing the sense that the noise is so loud and the visuals are so overbearing in your face. We've all been dehumanized. Mm-hmm. And to get back into the humanization of children and ourselves, it's a necessity. And it's not as easy as everyone thinks it is.
I hear one of the biggest negative things I hear people say about him is like he was a heroin addict, and it's just like, but he has a lot of life experience though, doesn't he? You know what I'm saying?
He's a heroin addict. Yeah. So is someone I know who had no father, and their father left, who was a heroin addict. Yeah. And then this person went to prison for 5 years. Yeah. And then after the prison of 5 years, thank God he had certain people in their life to help guide for the next couple of years. And now this person is married with a daughter, lives good life. But that's, again, part of the madness of society, that they've been brainwashed and dehumanized, where you don't see the struggle and the person that made it.
Yeah.
And what they did to endure that strength.
It's amazing when people are starting to put truths out there and they're speaking a lot of things that make sense, and then people have to resort to things that happened 20 years ago to try to discredit them.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. We were at...
I love those words. Stay in your lane. Is this the guy that was in Half-Baked? Yeah, and you're still the moron sitting on the couch with your belly hanging over your waist watching it, jackass. I left 30 years ago. You're still sitting there going, is this the guy from Half-Baked? So we're going to listen to Go Boy now? Says the fatso drowning himself in sorrow in his backyard.
Well, like
as he playing with his donkey watching pornography.
I mean, listen, I see you on Fox out there speaking truths.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, like you're out there saying a lot of these things that are making people uncomfortable.
Well, that a lot of people are scared to say too.
I want to switch on a different subject.
Let's do it.
Real quick, because you kind of like talked about it a little bit earlier, but you're like, listen, sometimes I like to medicate on the back porch.
Yeah.
I think about aliens and extraterrestrials and like, what does Jim Breuer think about the whole alien thing, man? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I know it sounds kooky, but watching Star Wars and learning about the Force, I always say there's always things hidden in. I totally believe we already have vehicles that are magnetic that can fly off the ground. They have everything. They're not giving it to us.
I believe that. Yeah. Conspiracy theorist.
And part of that, have you ever thought? There's been times in my life where I'm like, I don't know if I should do this, or I don't know if this is right. And the minute I'm about to, something happens.
Yeah.
I don't believe they're coincidences. I believe that is energy and force either protecting you, looking after you, and going, hey, I don't know how it's done or what that is. I don't want to define it. But is that part of a spirit world we don't understand or don't know, or
interdimensional, extraterrestrial? Like, I think that there's so many different theories about this, but like, I think that collectively we're all connected.
I believe in all that, even some personal, deeper experiences. And it's just, I know it exists, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Nor do I care.
Yeah. No, listen, like I'm a believer that that there's a lot of truth to the connectedness of a collective conscious, and this is basically like a symphony. It's like this synchronistic flow of this evolution of this symphony that's been created by God or the collective or whatever you'd like to call it. I like to call it God, and that we're nothing separate from it.
Yeah.
And so like when we're getting ready to make that decision and then something happens, like my tire gets, like I'm on my way to go do something and my tire blows out or whatever and stuff like that. It's literally divinely orchestrated.
Without a doubt. And it happens to me way too many times. And then once you start tapping into it, it's almost comical. It really is almost comical.
Yeah.
Where to the point where I test it once in a while.
He does
I'm like,
too.
I want to keep it on its game. I'm purposely going to pretend I'm going to do something to see if it'll send a sign or the door will fly open or that bizarre phone call will happen. It happens all. It's amazing.
But
it's
being
amazing.
open to it, man. I
Yes.
think that that's one of the most important things.
Be open to it. Yeah.
Everybody's so like convinced that things are just coincidences. But in a world of connectedness, the coincidences are just winks from God.
Winks of God, yes. Dude, that thing kept coming up to me too. Winks of God. God winks. I love that. I got a billion winks.
Yeah.
So many winks. The winks are in every. This is a wink. We don't know it yet.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I'm into all that.
Cool, man.
I don't know if there's aliens though.
Smoke some more pot. Maybe you'll find out. Sometimes people meet aliens on ketamine too.
Yes. So we've had people have those experiences. At
What do they
our
look
facility.
like?
There's different ones. Like there's a lot of different ones. So
Do they
like
describe them in all different ways?
You know, like I've had the
People have ended
experiences
up on
myself.
ships.
You had them too?
Yeah.
What does yours look like?
There was all these beings that looked like Dr. Manhattan. And most of them were gray, right? But then there was one that was green and it had a red ruby where its third eye would be. And they were all cheering and chanting for me and saying, "It's not too late. You can do it."
All right. So do you think that's like, I don't know, every once in a while on my feed, I'll get like palladiums. Is that what they call it? I don't know. It's like
Palladians.
Palladians. See, I don't know about all of them. Like, see, like
I
get-
saw an
but, like, there's
Anunnaki being
good-
before in a.
there's the good and the bad. There used to be a guy on Howard Stern years and years and years ago. Everyone was a laughing stock, and he would talk about the Anunnaki.
Yeah, Billy
I
Carson.
saw one of them
Billy Carson talks
in
about it,
DMT.
too.
And so now it's like you're hearing more and more and more about it, and you hear about it outside of the Antarctica. Like that's where they come from, and one of the places is called that. So now I'm like, was he really always? Was it, like, and is
Is the Earth flat?
is? Oh, I'm all in on that. I'm all in. I'm all in on everything now, and
know.
I'm open to all
the
of it.
rabbit hole has no
see,
end.
that's the thing. And I want everybody to know, like,
The reptiles.
I don't know. Like, I know my
Do they run
DMT
the world?
experiences. I
The
know-
reptiles.
You would know.
No, listen, I'm open to anything,
Me
and
too.
I'm never going to say that something's true or not true until I've really seen it with
Right.
my own eyes. Now, listen, my ET experiences I've had on psychedelics, all the messages that I got, I took it like a blueprint for my life. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, because there was
Yeah.
always messages involved.
Yeah.
Like, listen, like we started our company. I took a leap of faith and quit my jobs because I smoked DMT and went on a ship, and there was these little teeny beings with these big bulbous eyes, and telepathically I was told, quit your jobs, take a leap of faith, but it's not really a leap of faith because you're in divine synchronicity with the universe and everything's going to be okay. And so I walk upstairs and I told her, and I'm like, hey, so listen, I just got told this message that I'm supposed to quit my jobs, take a leap of faith. We're going to start this company and help heal the world. And she's like, oh, you're nuts.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Here we are with you.
Wow.
But I mean, like, so like, listen, like, and this is what I tell people, whether it was real or not, even though I'm a fan of the belief that
Correct.
it is real,
Yes.
it changed my life.
Look what
man.
it did.
Look what it did. Now I'm sitting here with Jim Breuer on a podcast,
That's
and we've
right.
got a psychedelic therapy center that's done over 15,000 treatments, and we're getting everybody off their pharmaceutical medications. And now I look at it like we haven't been in business for 5.5 years. The 25 years before that, when I was in a drug-induced haze my entire life and getting in trouble and doing all these things, that was suffering and preparation for my purpose.
Right.
It was divinely orchestrated too, just like the winks from God that we're talking about. So it's like, I've been in training for this my entire life, man.
All warriors go to hell.
Ooh.
All warriors go in serious battles. And those battles are not often, most of those battles are not physical. They're mental, which is 10 times worse than physical,
man.
And spiritual. The minute the spiritual God in you is killed or it's null, it's a very dangerous place to be.
And see, that's what I think all of this stuff that's happening out there, whether it's spraying pesticides on the foods and putting fluoride in the water and doing
chemtrails.
all of
All the
this stuff is
chemtrails.
to disconnect us from our higher self.
I'm believing
from
all
God,
that.
man.
I'm definitely believing all that.
It lowers our vibrations.
Do you think we're heading? Are we in the middle of the awakening? Are we in the middle of? It's all going to get back to. There's going to be a
shift in consciousness.
a shift in consciousness along with the physical realm as well.
So this is the synchronistic flow of the evolution of consciousness, and you have to go through the dark to get to the light, right? So like, I like to live in the absolute where we're all one collective consciousness, separation is an illusion, and this is divinely orchestrated. So all the pain and suffering that's been happening, it was in order to wake people up. I
agree.
And so like, yes, we are in the middle of a mass awakening right now, because through my suffering, I found my purpose. I used to be looking up at the sky and crying and going, God, why are you doing this to me? How come I can't get my life together? I just want to get sober like everybody else. And now I look back at those same nights and I'm like, thank you so much. I get it now. You were with me the whole time. You were holding my hand and you were training me to be of the highest level of service possible so I can help other people. Thank you so much. Now listen, when people are going through it, that's a hard pill to swallow, that God's doing this because he loves you or it loves you.
I feel like in order to expand that, we have to get rid of all education. And think of the amount of energy that's spent in putting a child indoors. Child is not supposed to be indoors.
Prison.
In a classroom, all their energy shut down. Feed them sugar, feed them whatever you're going to feed them. Punish them if they can't keep up. Drug them.
Yeah, drug them. That's an epidemic.
It's the Matrix.
Now, imagine if we used half that energy to teach children how to tap into a higher self, a realm, understanding karma, understanding the spirituality and God within and how things work that way. Can you imagine if you had channels that focused on that nonstop? We won't even call them schools. We'll call them the healers, life healers, the caretakers. To me, that's the movement. So when we discover how to take young adults, teenagers, and children and use just as much energy we use into teaching them bullshit and drugging them to understand the bullshit and let them be their natural beings, which is really just we're all wanting to help each other, to just help each other along. It's not that difficult. I I think the entire world, that will be the beginning of a real major revolution.
And so that's
in
how
a
we
good
shift
way.
consciousness. See, listen, like, it's like, that's why we do what we do. It's because it's like, yeah, it's awesome to help people, but this is about our future generations, man. This is how we change the entire world. This is how we heal generational trauma that's been handed down over and over and over again. And it's like, it stops with me. So it's like, I was always told I couldn't do things, right? Now, our son knows he can do anything. He's been meditating and doing breath work and stuff since he was like 3. He does I am affirmations. He knows about manifestation, all kinds of things like that. Because I'm programming him the way that I want to program him.
Correct.
Not the way that the Matrix is programming everybody else to doubt themselves and be on this hamster wheel of crap where it's like, I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm just completely sucked in this cycle where it's like, I'm just a worker bee and that's it. And that's what I'm here to do. It's like, no, man. We're all extensions of the divine. We're here to manifest heaven on earth. And that is what I'm a part of.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's exciting. That's awesome.
It's super exciting.
And see, so the thing is like, that's how we break and see, that's what I believe that psychedelics are actually about. So it's like, we can talk mental health and neuroplasticity and dopamine levels and all of that stuff and even trauma. But the truth is like, this is about it's reprogramming. The Control-Alt-Delete for the old program of the Matrix that no longer serves us. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a magical being.
Do you think the Matrix was a documentary?
Oh.
Well, yeah, people say, now I do.
Me too.
Now I do.
Me too, man.
I'm even looking at Terminator because she wrote the Terminator.
Oh, yeah that
bro.
goes deep.
And you start...
What about simulation theory?
Which one's that?
So it's like there's literally
we're in a
thoughts that
simulator.
we live in a So I'm torn between these two things, right? Where it's like, okay, this is a manifestation of the collective mind of God, or B, this is a computer simulation and we are not, or an AI simulation and we're nothing separate from it. So we're actually AI. So I was with Billy Carson one night and I said, so listen, man, here's my 2 things where I'm at. I go, which one do you think? And he goes, both are correct.
Yeah, that one is so hard for me to wrap my head around.
It's like the synchronicities and everything and stuff like that. And see, the thing is on psychedelics, I've seen dripping code before, man. I've literally seen like simulation type features where I'm like deep dives. I'm not talking about taking a little handful of mushrooms or whatever. I'm talking about macrodosing and going to the depths of the universe. I have literally seen stuff like that. And now I catch glitches and stuff like that since I'm kind of hip to it. But like, I'm not saying that I'm 100% right either way because I'm open. And see, and this is the big thing is I am always open to the fact that I could be completely wrong about everything at any given time.
Me too, and I'm okay with that.
Me too, man.
I'm okay with that, and I think more people need to reach that because there's so much ego because it starts as a young or ego's driven in you. Ego's very dangerous. Ego, again, instead of being open, you'd rather just be right.
Yeah.
And you'll go to every length to prove you're right rather than just like, maybe there's no right or wrong here. Let's just listen. Some of the things you're saying are interesting and I can gather, I'm not sure I agree with them, but I'm open to it. Yeah.
I feel once you're able to be open to it, like your perspective and everything starts to change around you. And then 100%. You realize that maybe it's not so wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, if I can get certain people to act that way too in my life that are close to me, then I'll really be in a good shape. Right now, I'm the only one on the boat. I shouldn't say that. I do have children in that world.
Well, listen, man, you got a couple more people in your life now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I might have to commit. Yeah. We should get my daughter on here too. That'd be a lot of fun. She'd be into this.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. I'll come back anytime. This is good.
Cool, man.
This is fun.
I appreciate it.
And we're definitely gonna do a session. I just got to figure out when.
Okay.
We won't tell anybody.
I got to make sure my wife's not around. She's gonna lose her mind.
Are we still filming?
I can't even take a one hitter on my back deck at 10 p.m. at night when nobody's in the neighborhood. I don't even have neighbors. I'm staring at a forest and I'm getting slapped. I don't like you doing that. Well, then go to bed.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man.
I don't like the UPS packages coming every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
that you never use.
Yeah, well, listen, like when used properly, these medicines can tap people into higher states of consciousness, send you into meditative states. I mean, they're super therapeutic, and like sitting on the back porch and hitting a one hitter or whatever, like you might be tapping into some like epiphanies, man, where it's like, or coming up creatively with your next move about
Might
what you're
make you
going to be
funnier.
doing.
I decided I want to write a book. This is like around 2009, 2010. I was doing radio, but I've had this deep drive my whole life, not just as a stand-up, but as I hate using this word, but I don't know how else to describe it, as a type of minister to heal people in a non-religious way. I don't know how to describe it. And people always said, what would you do as a comedian? I'm like, and I remember when we first moved to New Jersey, I was talking to a pastor. I don't want to become a pastor. I don't want to have a church. It looks nothing like that. It's all based on true experiences. Now, there's a billion that I have. They're endless. They're endless from my father's pet. There's so many. But one thing, I want to pick your brain to ask you, what do you think this was? So I want to write the book. And the reason I want to write this book, because I want to get the deeper spiritual side out of coincidences and things you put out that come back that have happened to me. I write more about Psychedel. I write more about pot and half-baked. And to this day, if you look at the book, I got my rights back. I hated the name of it. I got my one little fight in. It was like, Jim Breuer, comedian, actor, go boy, blah, 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 big long thing, and spiritual warrior.
Yes.
And no one ever asked about the spiritual warrior. And that's okay. But I knew in time, as people went down the road, they were going to go, dude, he started talking about this way back then. So while I'm writing, when I decide to write the book, I'm convinced I'm going to change lives for the better.
Heck yeah, man.
Really change lives. They're not going to expect this from the half-baked guy and all that stuff. And I get on the plane from New Jersey to Vegas, and I'm writing, and I'm handwriting, writing this in a notebook. We land, and I didn't even know we were in the air. I was so engulfed in I had a big indent on my finger from the pen against it. It was killing me. And I was so into it. I already couldn't wait to go. It was a festival. Jerry Seinfeld was on, and Chris Rock was there. I was staying at Caesars, a big stupid, it was like the movies. It was a big stupid suite and all this Caesar Palace. I get in, I start writing some more. I can't stop writing. So my wife goes, hey, can we go downstairs? She wanted to do her nails. So can we go down and do it? I'm like, I don't do my nails. She's like, no, I come down and do nails. Okay. While she's getting ready, I literally start looking for a place to hide my notebook. And I have about 12 pages front and back that I've already written. So it's like 20-something pages. And I'm folding. I go to put it in the safe, and then I'm putting it in a drawer. And I went, what am I? I've been in hotels my whole life. Why am I trying to hide a notebook? This is stupid. This is all my head. I go to the window. It was a big suite, and there's a big long table here, almost like a dining room. And I take the notebook and I go in the window and I talk to the devil. And I said, you see this? I'm in your den. And this book is going to change lives. And there's nothing you could do about it. I'm going to crush you. And you never saw it coming. This is going to, okay. So I did that, and I showed it, and I said, I'm putting it right here just to taunt you and let you know I'm for real. I swear on my life. We go downstairs for however long, come back up. She goes, I'm going to jump in the shower, get ready for dinner. I said, great. I'm going to go continue writing. I get the book, I open it up. There's no pages. The fuck? I'm looking. I start you take the spiral part and I'm shaking it, and I'm frantically going. There's nothing written in this whole fucking book. And I go, hon, did you rip my pages out? And there's nothing. You know when you rip a page out of a notebook and there's still that little paper that's stuck in the spiral part? None of that's in there. And I'm losing my mind. And she said, are you sure that's the book? I'm like, yes, I only have one notebook. I wrote it, I put it on the table. And I'm like, what the? Now I'm looking at every place I was going to hide it. Like, maybe did I put it in the safe? Like, no, I know what the fuck I did. I go out. I don't know why. I thought maybe the maid or something. So I go out in the hallway, and there's a maid in the hallway, and all my life, she looked possessed. She had dark fucking eyes right here. And I had the notebook, and I went, excuse me. I had this notebook. And she looked at me and she went, oh, she couldn't speak good. I said, wait a minute, what do you know where? She's like, I put on floor and he took away. He garbage. I'm like, whoa. You threw my pages out? Why would you do? I don't know. I don't know. But I put on floor and he came already. I'm like, who came? She's like, and she leaves. I call downstairs. I call the manager. I'm like, hey man, I'm writing a book. This is costing me a lot of money. And your maid ripped the pages out of my book and threw in the fucking garbage. The fuck is going on right now? He comes up. The general manager comes up. She came back. It was all smeared with a couple pages. I found some pages, and I had to go in the basement of Caesar's Palace and cipher through all the garbage that they sent down there, and I found like 3 other pages. And the general manager's like, this makes no, like, why? She's been working for us for years. Like, she knows if you checked out to just bring us the book, but she knows you checked in. She has, I don't understand why she, like, I'll ask her. I don't know. And she didn't know. And dude, if I didn't do the whole, I dare you, I don't know if I would have been as freaked out or would have even happened. And so I took it as, I took it as the devil was like, you fucking challenging me, bro? Well, my wife is Miss Jesus, and she said, don't ever give the devil that much credit. That was God saying, even if this happens, are you going to continue? Because he's constantly going to derail you. And I went, oh, shit. And I took it as, okay, but still freaked me the fuck out. What is that?
Hey,
Fucking crazy.
time to start writing again.
I did. I am writing. Let's get it.
So listen, man, I believe that people can be possessed. Okay. Like it's
Soft moan to us.
like, it's literally, it's a vibrational thing. And like the more lower vibrational things that you do, whether you're,
We're obsessed right now with politics. It's a possession. Yeah. It's a voodoo, brainwashed possession.
Yeah. I think that it's a vibrational thing. You have lower vibrational densities, higher vibrational densities. The more lower vibrational things that you do, lower vibrational things can have access to you.
Correct.
And so like one of the things I do know about psychedelic medicines, because I've experienced it myself, is that your body takes on the vibration of the medicine. And so these medicines are raising people's vibrations, and a lot of the times they are shedding off things that no longer serve them anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Exorcisms.
But that's deep. And
Dude.
listen,
Dude.
and like
I had goosebumps while
Yeah.
you were saying it.
No.
I thought the Notebook was just
I
gonna
have
disappear,
nothing
but
to
like that's
gain.
crazy.
You can't even buy the book.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to sell the book.
yeah.
I just want people to know. You could sit there and try to analyze that all you want, but that's not a normal occurrence.
No.
That's nuts, so bro. And I've got a million of those.
I can't wait to have you on the show again sometime
Yeah,
in the
that was
future
nuts.
Become your regular. No
to
worries.
dive back in, because like this was incredible, man.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the My Self Wellness Podcast. And if nobody's told you that they love you lately,
We
do.
do.